Strategy number 3 that I'm showcasing is called a Frayer model. This is for the content area of agriculture, food technology, and safety for the 10th through 12th grade levels. The grade levels come from the advanced difficulty or use of this strategy. They're better suited for sophomores and up rather than lower grade levels. And then, as well as the subject area, you're going to usually cover food technology or food science in grade levels 10 through 12. 5 vocabulary terms I'm using are foodborne illness, biotechnology, homogenization, additive, and critical control points, or CCPs. The TEKs cover food technology and safety principles and terminology. The instructions for use, once again, this is called a Frayer model, are students going to draw or make on the computer, just like the first strategy that we went over. They're going to make a box divided into 4 sections like this. That's going to make up the Frayer model or the Frayer box. So draw a giant box with 4 smaller boxes in it. And then in the middle, you're going to draw a circle. And once again, you can either draw or create it on a computer like I did. You're going to label each box. The top left is going to be definition, top right characteristics, bottom right non-examples, and bottom left examples. And then the middle circle that you made is going to be labeled vocabulary term. And the teacher is actually going to assign the 5 vocabulary terms. And then each student is going to make a Frayer model for each vocabulary term. And what they're going to do, they're going to list a vocabulary term. So the first one would be foodborne illness, or just what I didn't do one for all of them. I just did one for the first term, foodborne illness. So you'd write down the term in the middle term circle. Then the top left, you'd write the definition. This would come from either a textbook or a reliable resource, such as an internet article or a say this is over food science and technology and foodborne illnesses. So this definition may have came from the CDC website or a food safety or a food science reliable website. So just write down the given definition in the top left, and then the student will think of characteristics that are of the vocabulary term. So like foodborne illness, some characteristics might be it spreads through contaminated food and water. There's over 3 million cases in our country, and it can lead to hospitalization or death if it occurs. So just characteristics of it. And then you're going to list examples. So some examples of the term might be Salmonella or E. coli 0157H7. And then you're going to jump over to non-examples. What the non-examples do is they let the students see vocabulary terms or examples that may be related in the same field to the vocabulary term, but they're not examples of it. So this let them realize that, hey, these are examples, this is what they are, and these are non-examples, which just leads to better overall understanding of the word, in my opinion, and from reading from the article. So non-examples would be maybe a stomach ache from overeating, or a common cold, or the stomach issue diverticulitis. Like I said, all these are in the same field, kind of illnesses and medical field. However, a stomach ache isn't a foodborne illness, and the cold doesn't come up from a foodborne illness. And then diverticulitis, it does deal with stomach and has some of these characteristics. However, it's an infection or deals with ulcers in the intestines. It's not a foodborne illness. It doesn't cover all the characteristics or the definition. And so once you do that, that was just a quick overview of the Frayer model. Like I said, the definition in the top left, and then characteristics or features that recognize and identify the word. You put them in the characteristics top right box, and then examples of what the term could be in the bottom left, and then in the bottom right, examples that do not fit the term's characteristics or definition. And then once you complete all the sections of the Frayer model for each term, remember there's 5 of them from above, and I just did the foodborne illness term. The students can review their work and share it with their classmates. And looking over each classmate's Frayer models allows students to see other characteristics or other examples they may not have thought of that their peers did. So this just leads to, hey, I didn't think of this, but it's true and right. I'm going to add that to my Frayer model or my vocabulary knowledge of the term. Strengths and benefits, like I said, the section of the students sharing it with one another, it just leads to better learning, better understanding of the term. And then what the article mentions is that the Frayer model can teach more complex vocabulary words directly and explicitly. So what I take this as is the vocabulary can be broken down and understood better because you're not just you're not just reading it or seeing the sentence and the definition and the word. You're actually giving characteristics, examples, and non-examples. So the characteristics and examples let you learn even more about the word, which I think will let students, the vocabulary terms stick in students' memories. So once again, that was strategy number 3, called a Frayer model, and I used it for the food technology and safety under the agriculture content area. Thanks.